I am Arina. This is my story. I live in a small town. The town is called Willow Creek. It is a quiet town. Green trees grow here. A small river flows nearby. Life was simple in Willow Creek. I liked my simple life. I had a good family. My mother was kind. My father was strong. I had a little brother. His name was Sam. Sam was funny. He always made me laugh. We lived in a small cozy house. Our house had a blue door. I loved our blue door. I had a best friend. Her name was Lara. Lara was very special to me. We grew up together. We played together. We shared secrets together. Lara was smart. She was also very practical. She always thought things through. I was a little different. I liked to dream. I noticed small things. One day, something happened. Something strange. Something important. It changed many things. It changed my friendship with Lara. It was a Tuesday evening. I remember it clearly. The sky was orange and pink. The sun was going down. I was walking home from the library. I loved books. I always had a book in my bag. That day I had a book about stars. My path home went past the old mill. The old mill was at the edge of town. It was a big stone building. Nobody used it anymore. It was always quiet there. Sometimes children played hide and seek near the mill, but not in the evening. In the evening, it was usually empty. As I walked, I heard a small sound. A scraping sound. It came from behind the mill. I stopped. My heart felt a little thump. 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 I was curious. I always had a curious heart. Maybe you are curious too sometimes. It's a funny feeling, isn't it? I walked slowly. I peeked around the corner of the mill, and then I saw him. A man. He was not from our town. I had never seen him before. He was tall. He wore a dark coat. He had a hat pulled low over his eyes. He looked nervous. He kept looking around, like he was afraid someone would see him. He was digging. He had a small shovel. He dug a hole near the old stone wall. Then, he took out a box. It was a wooden box. Not very big, but it looked heavy. He put the box in the hole. He covered it with dirt. He put some old leaves on top. He tried to make it look like nothing was there. My breath caught in my throat. I did not move. I did not make a sound. I just watched. What was in the box? Why was he hiding it? He stood up. He looked around one last time. Then, he walked away, quickly. He walked towards the forest path. He disappeared into the trees. I waited for a few minutes. My heart was still beating fast. I felt scared. But also, I felt like I saw something very important. I knew I had to tell someone. The next morning, I woke up early. The sun was shining. Birds were singing. Everything looked normal. But I knew something was not normal. I kept thinking about the man. I kept thinking about the box. At school, I looked for Lara. I found her near her locker. She was reading a note. She smiled when she saw me. "Hi, Arina," she said. "You look serious. What happened?" I took a deep breath. "Lara, I have to tell you something. Something big." We sat on a bench under a big oak tree. This was our special spot. We always shared secrets here. "Yesterday evening," I started, "I saw a man near the old mill." I told her everything. About his dark coat, about his nervous eyes, about the shovel, about the wooden box. I told her how he hid it. Lara listened. She looked at me. Her head was tilted. When I finished, she was quiet for a moment. Then she smiled. It was a small smile, a kind smile, but not the smile I wanted to see. "Arina," she said softly, "you have such a big imagination. Are you sure you saw all that?" My heart sank, a little bit. "Yes, Lara, I am sure. I saw it. It was real." Lara patted my arm. "Maybe it was a game. Maybe someone was playing a treasure hunt game. You know, like kids do." "No, Lara," I said. My voice was small. "He was not playing. He looked scared. He looked like he was doing something wrong." Lara sighed. "Arina, it's the old mill. It's a spooky place. Maybe the shadows played tricks on your eyes. Maybe you were tired." She didn't believe me. My best friend, the person I trusted most. She thought I was making it up, or that I was confused. I felt a sharp pain in my chest, like a little needle. "You don't believe me?" I asked. Lara looked uncomfortable. "I believe that you think you saw it, Arina. But it sounds a bit like a story from one of your books." I stood up. I felt tears in my eyes, but I did not want to cry. "Not there." "It's not a story, Lara," I said. "It's true." I walked away. I felt so disappointed, so alone. That evening, I told my parents. We were eating dinner. My little brother Sam was telling a story about a frog he saw. When Sam finished, I said, "Mom, Dad, I saw something strange yesterday." I told them about the man and the box. My father listened. He put down his fork. He looked serious. "Arina," he said, "the old mill can be a dangerous place. You should not go there alone, especially in the evening." "I know, Dad, but I saw him. He was hiding a box." My mother looked at my father. Then she looked at me. "Arina, dear," she said gently, "are you sure? Sometimes when it's getting dark, our eyes can trick us." "No, Mom, I saw him clearly. He was real." My father frowned a little. "Arina, it is not good to make up big stories. It can cause trouble." "I am not making it up," I said. My voice was louder now. I felt frustrated. Okay, calm down," my mother said. "Maybe you saw someone, but maybe it was nothing important. Maybe he just lost something and found it." They didn't believe me either. They thought I was exaggerating or being childish. I felt a heavy weight in my stomach. Nobody believed my story. Nobody. Sam looked at me with his big eyes. "Did the man have a pirate hat, Arina?" he asked. I shook my head. No, Sam. He was not a pirate. Even my little brother thought it was a game. The next few days were hard. I could not stop thinking about the man in the box. What was in it? Was it something bad? Something stolen? I tried to talk to Lara again. Lara, please, I said. You have to believe me. It was real. She looked sad. Arina, I want to believe you, but it just sounds so unlikely. There are no secrets in Willow Creek. Nothing like that happens here. But it did happen, I insisted. We started to argue. It was not a big fight, but our words were sharp. It was the first time Lara and I really argued. It felt terrible. After that, we still talked, but things were different. There was a small wall between us, a wall of disbelief. When I looked at her, I saw doubt in her eyes. It hurt. It hurt a lot. I decided I needed to do something. If nobody believed me, I had to find proof. One afternoon after school, I went back to the old mill. My heart was beating fast again. I was a little scared. What if the man came back? I told myself, it's okay to feel scared, Arina, but you need to be brave. I went to the spot where I saw him digging. I looked carefully at the ground. I saw the disturbed earth. The old leaves were still there. I found a strong stick. I started to dig. The ground was soft. I dug and dug. My hands got dirty. I was careful. I didn't want to damage anything, but there was no box. Nothing. Just dirt and stones. I sat back on my heels. I felt so confused. Was the box gone? Did the man come back for it? Or was Lara right? Did I imagine it? A cold feeling of doubt washed over me. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe everyone else was right. It was a terrible feeling. To doubt yourself. To think your own eyes tricked you. I walked home slowly. My shoulders were slumped. I felt defeated. For a week, I tried to forget. I tried to be normal, Arina, again. I read my books. I played with Sam. I talked to Lara about school, about movies, about everything except the man and the box. But it was always there. In the back of my mind, a small, nagging voice. You saw it. You know you saw it. Lara seemed happier when I didn't talk about it. We laughed more. It was almost like before. Almost. But I knew. I knew something was still broken. Trust. My trust in her belief. Her trust in my story. Then, something else happened in Willow Creek. Mrs. Gable, an old lady who lived on Main Street, reported something missing. Mrs. Gable loved her garden. She had many colorful flowers. And she had a collection of garden gnomes. Funny little statues. One of her gnomes was gone. Her favorite one. It was a gnome with a fishing rod. It was not very valuable, but it was special to her. The news spread through our small town. People talked about it. Who would steal a garden gnome? They asked. When? I heard it, a thought flashed in my mind. A box? A hidden box. Could it be connected? It seemed small. A gnome. But the man was secretive. I had to tell Lara. I found her after school. Lara, I said, trying to keep my voice calm. Did you hear about Mrs. Gable's gnome? Yes, Lara said. Poor Mrs. Gable. It's a silly thing to steal. Lara, I said, what if the man I saw, what if he took it? What if the box had stolen things in it, like the gnome? Lara stopped walking. She looked at me. Her expression was tired. Arina, she said, a garden gnome? You think that man, the scary man you saw, hid a garden gnome in a box? Her voice was not mean, but it was full of disbelief. It was like she was talking to a small child. It's possible, I said. Maybe he steals small things. Things people might not report to the police. He hides them. Then he sells them later. Lara shook her head slowly. Arina, please. It's a coincidence. Just a small, silly theft. It has nothing to do with your man at the mill. But how do you know? I cried. I felt so frustrated. Why couldn't she see? Why couldn't she just consider it? Because it doesn't make sense, Arina, Lara said, her voice a little louder now. You are trying too hard to make your story real. Her words hit me hard. Trying too hard to make my story real. Did she think I was lying? Deliberately? Tears welled up in my eyes again. This time I couldn't stop them. They spilled down my cheeks. I'm not trying to make it real, Lara, I whispered. It is real. Lara looked worried when she saw my tears. Oh, Arina, don't cry. I'm sorry. I don't want you to be upset over something that is probably nothing. But it's not nothing to me, I said. And it's not nothing that my best friend doesn't believe me. I turned and ran. I ran home. I didn't want to talk to her. I didn't want to see her. My heart felt broken, not just by her disbelief, but by the feeling that our friendship was crumbling. All because of something I saw, something I knew was true. I cried in my room that day. I felt so utterly alone. My family thought I was imaginative. My best friend thought I was making things up. Maybe I should just give up. Maybe I should pretend it never happened. But I couldn't. That image of the man, the box, his fear, it was burned into my mind. I thought, what if it is something serious? What if someone is in trouble? Or what if he does something worse next time? I knew, deep in my heart, I had to keep trying, even if I was the only one who believed. Sometimes, believing in yourself is the hardest thing to do, especially when no one else does. Maybe you have felt that way too. It's a lonely feeling, but it can also make you strong. A few days passed. I avoided Lara. It was painful. We used to be together all the time. Now we walked past each other in the school hallway with just a quick, sad hello. I decided to go to the old mill one more time. Not to dig, but just to look, to think. It was a Saturday morning. The sun was bright. I told my mom I was going for a walk. She smiled. She was happy I was going out. She worried I was spending too much time in my room. I walked to the mill. It looked different in the bright daylight. Less scary. More just old and forgotten. I went to the spot by the wall. I looked at the ground. It still looked a bit disturbed. I sighed. What could I do? Then, my eyes caught something small, something shiny, hidden among the leaves, right where the dirt was disturbed. I knelt down. I pushed the leaves away. It was a key, a small, old-fashioned key. It was made of dark metal. It had a strange design on its top, like a little bird. My heart leaped. A key. Where did this come from? Could the man have dropped it when he was digging? Or maybe when he came back for the box, if he did. I picked it up. It felt cold in my hand. This was real. This was proof. Not proof of the box, but proof that someone was there. Someone with an old key. My mind started racing. What did this key open? Suddenly, I felt a new surge of energy, a new hope. I had to show this to someone. But who? Lara wouldn't believe me. My parents would say I just found an old key. I thought about Mr. Henderson. He was an old man who lived near us. He used to be a policeman in a nearby city a long time ago. He was kind. He always had interesting stories. And he was very observant. I decided to talk to Mr. Henderson. It was a risk. What if he laughed too? But I had to try. I ran to Mr. Henderson's house. His house had a lovely garden with roses. He was sitting on his porch, reading a newspaper. Mr. Henderson? I said, a little out of breath. He looked up. He smiled. Well, hello, Arina. What brings you here in such a hurry? I held out the key. Mr. Henderson, I found this. Near the old mill. He took the key. He looked at it closely. He turned it over in his fingers. He said. This is an interesting key. Old, unusual design. I took a deep breath. Mr. Henderson, I saw something at the mill a few weeks ago. I saw a man. He was hiding a box. I told him my whole story. Everything. I told him about the man, the digging, the box. I told him how nobody believed me. I even told him about Mrs. Gable's gnome and my idea about it. I was afraid he would think I was silly. He listened patiently. He did not interrupt. He just looked at me with his calm, thoughtful eyes. When I finished, he was quiet for a moment. He tapped the key on his newspaper. Arina, he said finally, you have very good eyes and a good memory for details. My heart fluttered. He didn't dismiss me. This man you saw, Mr. Henderson continued. You said he looked nervous, and he was hiding the box carefully. Yes, I said. Very carefully. And this key, he looked at it again. This looks like a key for an old lockbox, or maybe a small cabinet. He paused. There have been a few small, unexplained things happening around town lately. Not just Mrs. Gable's gnome, little things. Things that are not usually reported to the police officially, but people talk. I nodded eagerly. Yes, that's what I thought. Mr. Henderson stood up. Arina, I think your story is important. I think this key is important. You did the right thing by coming to me. Relief washed over me. It was so powerful. Someone believed me. Someone finally believed me. "What should we do?" I asked. "Well," Mr. Henderson said, "I still have some friends at the local police station. I think it's time I paid them a visit. And I think you should come with me. You can tell them exactly what you saw." I was nervous. Talk to the police? But I also felt strong. Mr. Henderson believed me. We went to the small police station in Willow Creek. There was one main officer there, Officer Miller. Mr. Henderson explained why we were there. Then Officer Miller asked me to tell my story. I told him everything, just like I told Mr. Henderson. I showed him the key. Officer Miller listened carefully. He wrote things down in a notebook. He asked me questions. "What time was it?" "Can you describe the man?" "Exactly where did he hide the box?" I answered as best as I could. When I finished, Officer Miller looked at Mr. Henderson. Then he looked at me. "Arina," he said. "Thank you. You've been very brave and very helpful." He didn't say if he fully believed about the box yet, but he was taking it seriously. That was enough for me. He said they would look around the old mill. He said the key was interesting. The next few days were filled with a strange mix of anxiety and hope. What would happen? Then on Wednesday, Officer Miller came to our house. My parents were surprised. He asked to speak with me. "Arina," he said with a kind smile, "we did some searching around the old mill, based on your description and the key you found." My heart was pounding. "We didn't find the wooden box you described where you saw it buried," he said. My heart sank a little. "Oh no. But," he continued, "the key you found? It opened something else. There's a small hidden cellar under the old mill. Very old. Most people don't know about it. The key opened a rusty old lockbox we found hidden in that cellar. A lockbox, not the wooden box I saw buried, but something the key opened. And inside that lockbox," Officer Miller said, "we found several items. Small, valuable items. Items that had been reported stolen from homes in nearby towns over the last few months. And yes, Arina, we also found Mrs. Gable's garden gnome in there." I gasped. "The gnome! I was right." My parents looked at me. Their eyes were wide with surprise and something else. Pride. "The man you described," Officer Miller went on. "We think we know who he is. He's not from around here. We believe he was using the old mill as a place to store stolen goods before moving them. He said they were now looking for the man, and because of my information, they knew what to look for." "You were very observant, Arina," Officer Miller said, "and very brave to speak up. You helped us a lot." After Officer Miller left, my parents hugged me. "Arina," my mother said, her voice soft, "we are so sorry we didn't believe you fully. You were right all along." My father nodded. "You were very persistent, Arina, and you showed great courage. We are very proud of you." Their words meant so much to me. It felt like a heavy weight had been lifted from my shoulders. The next day at school, the news was all over. About the stolen items found at the mill. About a possible thief. Lara found me by my locker. She looked different. Her usual confident smile was gone. She looked hesitant, sad. Arina, she said, quietly. I heard. About the mill. About the police. I nodded. I didn't know what to say. They found things, Lara continued. Stolen things. And Mrs. Gable's gnome. Yes, I said. Lara looked down at her shoes. Then she looked up at me. Her eyes were shiny with tears. Arina, I am so sorry, she said. Her voice trembled. I didn't believe you. I was awful. I should have listened to you. I should have trusted you. You're my best friend. A tear rolled down her cheek. Seeing her like that, so genuinely sorry, my own eyes started to water. The wall between us, the wall I had felt for weeks, it just crumbled. I stepped forward and hugged her. It's okay, Lara, I whispered. It's okay. She hugged me back tightly. No, it's not okay, she said, her voice muffled in my shoulder. I doubted you. I made you feel alone. Can you forgive me? Of course I forgive you, I said, pulling back a little to look at her. Friendship is about this too, right? Making mistakes. And forgiving. Lara wiped her eyes. She managed a small, watery smile. You were so brave, Arina. You kept believing in what you saw, even when no one else did. I admire that so much. It was hard, I admitted. But I just knew. Inside. I learned something important, Lara said. Sometimes things that sound unbelievable can be true. And I learned I need to be a better friend. To listen more. To trust more. Her words were like a balm to my heart. My best friend was back. And our friendship, I knew, would be even stronger now. Life in Willow Creek went back to being quiet. The police eventually caught the man I had seen. He had been responsible for many small thefts in the area. The wooden box I saw him bury, he had probably moved its contents to the cellar lockbox later or taken it with him. But my sighting had started everything. Mrs. Gable got her gnome back. She was so happy. She baked me a big apple pie. It was delicious. I learned so many things from that experience. I learned that sometimes you will see things that other people don't. You will know things that other people doubt. It is hard when people don't believe you. It can make you feel small. It can make you doubt yourself. I know that feeling. It's a heavy feeling. But if you truly believe something in your heart, if you know it's the truth, you have to hold on to it. Be brave. Trust your own eyes, your own mind, your own feelings. It's okay to feel scared. I felt scared many times. But courage is not about not feeling scared. Courage is about doing what's right, even when you are scared. And I learned about friendship. True friends might make mistakes. They might not always understand. They might even hurt you without meaning to. But true friends also learn. They say sorry. They try to be better. And they come back. Trust can be broken, but it can also be rebuilt, stronger than before. Lara and I are still best friends. We talk about everything. And now, She listens a little more closely when I tell her I've seen something interesting. And I listen to her practical thoughts too. We balance each other. So, if you ever have a story, something you know is true, but others find it hard to believe, don't give up. Hold on to your truth. Be patient. Sometimes the truth takes time to come out. And remember to be a good friend. Listen with an open heart. Trust is a precious gift. You are stronger than you think. You can face challenges. You can find your voice. Keep believing in yourself. You can do this too. Keep going.